name is Ihor, and today I'd like to talk about the recording of tracks made on the Digitakt with or without an external synth. Imagine you have a fully arranged track ready for you to play on the Digitakt, and also you have a patch on the synthesizer which you would like to perform, and you've practiced for a couple of times, and here comes the questions. How do you record this into your DAW or into the audio track so that you can release it or share it with friends or do something with it, right? And there are a few ways of doing it. And the first way is quite straightforward and simple. You grab this main or master output from the Digitakt, you connect it into the recorder or maybe into the audio interface, and then you launch your DAW, you click record, and then you play the entire track, and at the end you receive the entire track recorded. Simple as that. Second option removes this piece of hardware like audio interface or the recorder from this setup, because Digitakt can serve as an audio interface. So you connect it to the computer via USB, and computer will see it as an audio interface. You go into your DAW, you select it as an audio source, click record, same thing. And these two ways are really straightforward and simple to implement. But there is one limitation. At the end of it, you receive the entire track as one audio piece. And of course, you can do some equalization afterwards, or like glue compression, or maybe mastering and release this track. But you kind of miss a little bit on the opportunities you can get from your DAW. You can get some different mixing stuff. You can get some more effects or overdrives and stuff like that. So for this, you need another way, and this another way is Overbridge. And Overbridge allows you to record everything from the Digitakt, multi-track, simultaneously. Basically, all the 8 tracks from the Digitakt plus the track from external input. And this is amazing. I think this completely removes a lot of hardware or software from this exact setup, because what you actually need, you need a Digitakt, you need a synthesizer or maybe not, then you need a laptop or a computer and a USB cable. That's it. Maybe headphones, of course, to listen to that, but that's pretty much it. Like, you can record multi-track with actually this. But when it comes to Overbridge, for me, for a long time, it was a little bit complicated. And also I couldn't use it because I upgraded my Mac to Big Sur, but right now Overbridge is released for Big Sur and you of course can use it. So it was a little bit complicated because I had to go into the DAW and configure it in a way that one track will have a Digitakt VST and then another tracks will listen to that VST. But there is going to be a little bit of delay going on with or offset of the audio basically. And I was like, it was a little bit hard. But then I discovered this Digitakt standalone application, which you can install as well while installing the Overbridge engine and stuff like that. And this Digitakt standalone application is basically software replication of your connected Digitakt. So whatever you change here will change the Digitakt here and back and forth. It works like a VST or something like that, but it has this little button which looks like a cassette, which opens the Digitakt audio capture. And this is for me, was a straightforward and simple way to capture stuff. It allows you to monitor Digitakt over the USB or capture main output and all the other outputs as well in audio files separately from each other simultaneously. While you play, it's gonna capture all the tracks into the audio files. And that's actually solved a lot of problems for me, because I don't like when things take long or when they complicate it. And this thing just fits into my flow really perfectly, because I can launch it, I can record real quick and stop recording, and then in the next session take care of the recorded files and mix them down. So, but to be able to do that, you have to have some things configured. And first of all, you have to have the Overbridge engine and and this standalone application installed. So while you're installing the Overbridge, it's going to ask you which kind of plugins would you like to install. And then you have to select the Digitakt, like VST if you need it, inside of the DAW, and also standalone application, which basically launches without any DAW in place. You also have to have the Overbridge engine running, of course, because that's how Overbridge works. I'm going to include the link to download the Overbridge, but it's there on the Elektron website. And another thing you have to configure is the Digitakt, and here you have to go in the system settings and USB config and select the Overbridge mode. This is really important because otherwise the laptop or computer won't see the Digitakt. And another thing which I recommend to set is audio routing, and there is this setting pre or post fader, and I have it in post, and this basically means that all the recorded tracks will be recorded after this mixer. So basically it allows me to, you know, increase the volume and do some like manual volume mixing while playing, and I think it's really cool. But again, if you don't need it, you can skip that option. And that's pretty much it, what you need to record the track. And I already have a prepared sort of track, which I was working a little bit on. And let's try to record a little track, and then I'll show you how to take it further in Ableton. So first of all, I'd like to start with configuring this Digitakt audio capture. Let's play the sound. Yes. So basically, as you can see, everything is, you can see that the tracks are playing. And here you can have some like presets, whether you would like to capture all, or maybe you would like to capture only inputs. Like you can basically use Digitakt as an audio interface with this application and just record synthesizer if you would like to. But usually I go with all. Then it also allows you to monitor. Look at this. Like I can remove all the volume from the master, make it basically muted, click monitor here, and it's a little bit quiet. So if I go like +15 here, I can monitor it over the laptop actually. Yeah, and also you can set the name for your files and destination. And by default, it goes into the music library. And then it's a matter of clicking Start Capture, and that's pretty much it. Let's record the track. Yeah, stop capturing. And we recorded like a 3-minute track right now. So yeah, let's jump into Ableton and see how can we take it further. And after the recording, firstly, we have to locate the files, and by clicking here, you will open the folder where they saved, and by default, it's a music library. And it has all the tracks here, basically Digitakt input, and all these tracks are 48 kilohertz and 24 bits, which is really good quality audio. So basically we have input, which is a stereo file of left and right input from the synthesizer. Then we have main, and main basically master, basically the whole track recorded from a master chain. And then every single track here, 8 tracks, and these tracks are in mono. So basically the Digitakt or the Overbridge records all the tracks in mono. That means that it does not record the panning, it does not record the effects because they are send effects. And this is something we can actually implement in Ableton instead. So we've got this, and now we can close the Digitakt application and stuff like that. Let's go into Ableton. And in Ableton, there is one particular thing I wanted to show you in settings, and this is auto warp long samples. You have to switch it to off, because what it does for these samples, it messes them up a little bit. So when you import the long sample, it tries to detect the first transients, removes like beginning. In some other tracks, it does not. So for me, it works pretty well because I like warping, but not the long samples. And this is the setting exactly for that. And then that's pretty much it. Ableton is ready. The only thing I'd like to change to 132 BPM because that was the track BPM. And let's import all the files there. Like drag and drop the files into Ableton. They will be dropped one after another one. But if I hold Command or I think Control on PC, they will be dropped everyone to a new audio track. So basically like this. I'm going to remove the first audio track because we don't really need it. So then I'm going to go and select all the files and go here and increase gain by 15 dB. And the reason for that is that it records all the files really clean, but quite quiet. And the thing is that I like to see the files as well, because like when I see the file, or when I see the wave, I can actually understand what this wave is and stuff like that. So on the second track, we didn't even have any sound. So this one can be removed. And then, yeah, we have basically everything. The first one is input. I'm going to move it to the last one because I'd like it to be organized. And also right now, this track, the first one is the entire song. Let's have a listen. So this is the entire mix basically. And if we switch it off, we get this weird sound. And I will explain why. So first of all, if we switch off the main mix, we get all the files in mono, and we get the last file, which is the input file basically from the synthesizer. We get it in stereo, but since I was using the synthesizer as dual voice, so I have left channel one voice, right channel another voice. This one we need to duplicate, and I'm gonna throw the utility on each of them, and then just make it, this one is gonna be left channel, and this one is gonna be the right channel. There's that. And right now if we listen, so we've got our mix, but no effects. Let's work on effects a little bit. So basically what Digitakt has is delay and reverb. So let's insert the return track and go into delay. So there is going to be our delay track, and let's insert another return track, which is going to be our reverb track. And also I think we need to bring EQs to both of those, just in case we would like to filter out, because I remember doing the dark reverb, but also filtering out some unnecessary frequencies. So on the Digitakt, it was something like this. So let's, yeah, I think something like this to the input, quite longer decay time. And I don't like this filter here because the EQ is better. Then I'm gonna remove chorus and spin and all this stuff. And I think I had a shelf a little bit on the Digitakt. So basically it's a matter of replicating the Digitakt reverb or making another reverb as well. And then on the delay, we can do, yeah, similar thing actually. And here, yeah, something like that. And also don't forget to bring dry and wet to 100% because this is like sand effects. Also another thing that there is no compressor recorded as well. There is a compressor on the Digitakt and it wasn't recorded, of course, because we recorded all this stuff separately. So what I usually do, I'm gonna bring the glue compressor and maybe limiter to a master track. And yeah, let's try to mix it a little bit better. So let's maybe loop some part of the track. Yeah, maybe this one. That's where I have to see stuff because now I can find the part of the track where lots of instruments present. So, and this is this part. So we can loop this one and go into the mixing. So first thing would be the clap can be sent a little bit into reverb. That was delay, this reverb. Yes. Then the next one is this sound, fine. Hi-hat, pan it into the left a little bit. This one into the right. Maybe a little more even. And then this one, send into reverb. And then this one. And also you can send a little bit of delay into reverb as well. And this one can go into delay. And also usually I make delay and reverb louder by 6 dB because in Ableton they are super quiet for some reason when they are in send effects. Then we get our input, which is basically this synth sound. I think it was sent into reverb as well. A little of delay. And then here we can, for example, do chorus. Bring chorus in place. Filter out the low end to be not affected by chorus. And then we have this sound. I think it was heavily sent into delay, like this, and also into reverb. I think this one was even less in reverb than this one. Again, it's already a kind of creative process which you can take further. Right now, I'm not gonna, of course, within this video finish this track completely, but at least to give you an idea of how it can benefit to your workflow. And we get this. Of course, it doesn't sound like a finished track yet. There is a lot of things we can improve. Yeah, another thing which we can do is pedal on the synthesizer voice right before chorus. Just a little bit of distortion maybe. Too much. And yeah, this is already a kind of creative process. Another thing is that, for example, if you have panning like panning automation in your mix on the Digitakt, it's not getting recorded because all the stems are in mono. But what you can use is an auto pan, for example. So let's grab the auto pan and throw it on this track, and then just bring some amount, decrease the rate a little bit. Yeah, like this. Nice. And another thing, when you have on the Digitakt, when you have some parameter locks, for example, I had it on the clap. So basically, if I go into the clap, I think it's right here. So I think when I had these kind of ghost claps, I sent them into reverb even more. So in this case, we can use automation in Ableton, of course, and we can go like send into reverb, show automation, and use the brush or like this like a pencil thing, which is quite useful. And then we can go like, okay, this clap we can send more into reverb, this clap we can send more into reverb, and then you can find a pattern of this sending into reverb claps, and just repeat automation all over again, like this, for example. So we had our, I think it was like 8 bars of repeating pattern on the clap. So basically, if I start here and yeah, like this, I have 8 bars, and then I can go and duplicate the automation all over again. And it's gonna sound like this. So it sends these little claps more into reverb with this automation. So this is also possible, and that was one of my biggest concerns. Of course, it adds a little bit of more work afterwards, but it's possible. Let's go into master and maybe use compressor a little bit. Find some... Okay, it's finished. Yeah, some 3 dB gain. Yeah, we are not hitting limiter, of course, because there is a lot of headroom yet. I would throw a zone here and master it with ozone afterwards. And again, this is not a finalized masterpiece, of course. This is like a little kind of tutorial to explain you one of the ways which I found really, really good for my personal flow, and maybe it will be beneficial for you guys to know that. Let's listen once again, starting from here. Yeah, I think this is amazing. This is like what I really needed. I was thinking about Overbridge for a long time, but it was always like something missing is there. Like there is that people record stuff from the Elektron machines differently, of course. I know that there is some method when you record like 4 bars loops of each track separately together with effects, and then you arrange it in Ableton. But I don't like arranging in Ableton, and I don't like all the stems to be with effects. But then if you record in Overbridge, you miss the effects, you miss the LFO panning, which I use quite a lot. And I was like, yeah, it's not really working really good. But then it's a matter of a second to throw the auto pan and do it, right? So another way people record is that they would record all these stems together, like actually not together, but separately, and then record master track and record it as with only effects enabled. So basically on the Digitakt, you go into audio routing and you disable all the tracks to go into master, and then master will record only effects, only send effects, but Overbridge will still record all the stems separately. This is also the way, and I think it's a good way, but again, what if I would like to remove like 1 bar of claps over here, but I still have them like sounding the reverb from send effects and stuff like that? that also did not fit into my workflow. So yeah, I hope this video was somehow useful for you guys. If so, put a like on it. If you didn't like it, put a dislike, but let me know how can I improve those videos for you. Consider subscribing to support my channel, it really helps me a lot. I'm about to reach 2K, or maybe I'm already at 2K when this video goes out. And yeah, I appreciate all of you. And consider also following me on Instagram. And until the next time, have fun.